Hey, Mr. Inky Fingers here. I want to do a sketch today, but before we do that sketch, I want to introduce a couple of different pens, fountain pens that I have. One of which we're going to do the sketch with today. First pen we want to talk about, we're going to jump around to a couple of different countries, 3 different countries in particular. First country pen I want to talk about is the Magna Carta is the brand, and and that is a special edition, and this pen comes from exclusive from Pen Chalet, and it's a Halloween 2023 exclusive. Pretty cool pen. So we want to talk about the Magna Carta, and that's the pen we're going to draw with today, being October, coming up on Halloween. I think it would be perfect. Next pen we're going to look at is the brand is Maiora, which used to be or run as Delta. I believe this owner has started up Maiora now that Delta is no longer in business. So I think it's more of a continuation, or an offshoot, and they're just rebranding in a different way, but still highly quality pens. And the other pen we're going to look at is a Chinese pen by Hongdian, and this is a Dynasty series, and I believe there's 4 trim finishes for this metal pen, which is outstanding quality, really an amazing pen. One of those where you look at a pen like this that's metal, and this pen is sub $50. And you can have pens that are hundreds and hundreds of dollars that still wouldn't even come close to the quality of this pen, which is saying something. It's a metal pen, full-bodied, engraved. The nib is absolutely smooth, excellent even for a fine nib. Just a spectacular pen, well balanced. It's a piston filler. I mean, it's pretty much has everything. But the engraving on the pen itself is pretty unique and nice. So a couple of really good pens. So we're jumping from China to India to Italy for today, and we're going to end up drawing with that Indian pen, the Indian company Magna Carta, which, by the way, I own across the spectrum of fountain pens, a wide variety. I own a couple of Ranga pens. That's also an Indian company. I think Ranga's the only other brand that I own from India. But Magna Carta is a brand new brand for me to experience. So we'll talk a little bit about that when I next show the pens and kind of go through them briefly. And then we're going to draw with that pen, that Magna Carta pen, and I'll show you what that's all about. If any of you know anything about those brands, or whenever I discuss them and I share a little bit about what I know, if you know more, if you know different, maybe if I said something incorrectly, feel free to comment on that. I do respond to comments too. So yeah, let's get started. We have got this pen, we've got this pen, and we've got this pen. So let's look at them a little bit in order. First pen we want to look at here is the Hongdian. This is a Chinese pen. I want to talk a little bit about Hongdian because really, as I mentioned before, you get a wide variety of these pens in different quality, all for a relatively inexpensive price. This pen comes in, I think, 4 different finishes, trim finishes. I've got the dark one, black, and like gunmetal silver. This is the Hongdian D5 and Qin Dynasty. I don't know how to pronounce that. So again, that's Mandarin or something. And anyway, so this one is in fine nib. It only comes in 2 nibs, so it comes in fine and extra fine. I like to fine on this one because you flip it over on reverse writing and it gives you an extra fine line. Open the box, comes with a sliding little coffin here. A little bit of information, one side of the instructions for use, and history on the dynasties is in here, and in English too. So if you really want to learn a little bit about Chinese history and the Qin Dynasty, rise of the Qin people. Again, I'm not going to pronounce that, so I'm not Chinese. So anyways, it is interesting. I've gone through it, and I learned a little something. So if this indeed is factual, so I'm assuming it is. Anyways, pen-wise, though, which is why we're here, not necessarily that, but you get the pen and you get a piston wrench, because this is a piston filler. This pen, I want to say, is quite amazing. I wish it came in a medium nib, but it doesn't right now. You're kind of hit or miss with some of the Chinese pens if they come in anything more than fine or extra fine. This is a metal pen and nicely substantial, but not too weighty. I was pretty surprised. It does have tons of engravings, and if you want to know what the engravings mean, because there is meaning behind all of this, according to Hongdian and this booklet. So the booklet will really take you through the cap band, the finial, everything, the end finial, what all this stuff means. So there is meaning behind this pen, which is kind of cool. I like the engravings. I think they're pretty cool looking. Anyways, very, very nice pen, nicely substantial. The clip does have a little bit of red trim on there, or finish, which I thought was kind of cool. It's the only color on the pen other than black or silver or gunmetal. And it does have an engraving at the bottom. This is a piston filler, as I mentioned. There is ink in here, but the piston works just fine. You unscrew the cap. It does post, and it does post securely. It posts past the piston, so there's no concern about turning the piston. But it does post. I love posting pens. I cannot understand anybody who does not post pens. It's weird to me. But the section here is grippable, and it has a nice grippable, even though it's metal, because it does have some texture. Makes it nice to grip it, and it does flare out a little bit toward the nib, so your finger doesn't slip off. The nib is, as I mentioned, a fine nib. It does have some engraving on there. Fine, looks like 1997 maybe, I don't know, and some engraving on there. Nib's great. The ink flow is fantastic. It doesn't ever dry out. It's not overly wet. I can't complain. And you know what? I'm hard pressed to say the quality of this pen and the way it writes and the smoothness of the nib, man, for what this cost, well under $30, I'm hard pressed. There are some very expensive pens that can't compete in terms of the quality here. So I'm really amazed by this. And if you're really into getting a fine pen and really good quality, I can highly recommend this pen. So anyways, but that's this pen. I have not done any sketches with it yet, so that's to come. Next pen I want to cover is an Indian company. It does come exclusive from Pen Chalet. They only made 100 of these, as I understand. So this comes in a very cheaply put together outer box. Nothing to write home about. Inner box has the information on here. We'll look at that, but it has on here Pen Chalet. That's who it came from. Magna Carta is the company. Halloween exclusive, and this ghost is basically all over the pen, which is kind of cool. Kitschy and cool. Slides out again, Magna Carta. This is in a fine nib that does open up. There's a blank unfilled card here, warranty card, Magna Carta. Take the pen out of the sleeve, and we have the pen. Pen is cool, orange finish, which I really like. The clip is really nice. Magna Carta on the cap band, their logo on the back side of that. It does have threads here on the back finial. That's great for, as you have to unscrew, posting the pen securely. It does become somewhat long, but definitely not back heavy. So this is totally workable for me. As I understand it, this is an Indian company. As I understand it, I could be wrong. You know, the M for medium. I believe their feeds are ebonite. Um, Again, I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, correct. You can feel free to correct it all day long, or just know that it's not. Whatever. I don't care. But the nib has the logo of the company there. I have not written with this nib or this pen yet. So this is really an unboxing. Um, what I did notice, as you unscrew this into plenty of threads there, is it does come with a Schmidt converter and it's friction fit. There are no metal parts here. There is no breather hole anywhere else on this. So what do you think? Eyedropper. So this could be eyedroppered, and that is a gargantuan amount of ink. So I think that's pretty cool, and I definitely will be trying that. First pen, though, we will be using the converter, or the first drawing. Just silicone grease these threads right here, and you should be out to the races. So I'll give that a shot, and I'll review that as well. The top of the finial here is flat, so technically you should be able to do that. I got number 26 out of 100. They're engraved on the back. And that's it. This is the Halloween edition 2023, so we will be writing with that today. So I'll kind of leave that there. Last but not least, let's go to fly over to Italy from India. There we are. We are now here. So, where should I put this pen? India's here. We'll leave that one there then. I can't. It's too small. Anyways, so let's look at, here we go, Maiora. If anyone's familiar with Maiora, you may know that they used to be Delta. The owner of, I believe the owner of Delta moved and created Maiora, moved over and started the Maiora company. A lot of the pens are very similar in their design. Here's the pen. This is the Maiora Mitho Origine in Flex Fine. Open this puppy up. Does this look familiar to anyone? If it doesn't, this is very reminiscent of the Delta Dolce Vita. Reminiscent in design. Maiora Italy, Origine, number 519. It does have that engraving around the cap band. Conical ends there on both sides of the finials. The nice orange definitely has some depth there. And some, yeah. It does have some chatoyance there. I'm just trying to see. But it does have depth. I mean, overall, it's really nice. Anyway, unscrews now. How many turns? Like one. So one. Yeah, one full turn almost. It is great. Threads are nice, not on the section. Nice big section to hang on to. It does post, and it does post securely. And I love drawing with this one posted. I've drawn one or two already sketches. So you can go back and look for this pen in the pictures. You'll see it. And I did note that I did draw with this. The nib has Maiora on there. Maiora Italy. And this one's a Flex Fine, and it is super smooth. Love this nib. Love Maiora. I can't really complain. There are only probably about one, maybe two pens that I like from Maiora. This is one of them. Some of these just don't really strike me as interesting, but this one really did. I like it. I like it a lot. Cool thing about this one, it is a converter pen, and it's a screw-in Maiora converter. It's branded. It does screw in. Cool thing with this one is, yep, you can pop open the barrel like this just to look at the ink flow. You can fill it this way, that's fine. But it does come with a blind cap. Here, turn the blind cap, and that converter pokes through here, as you can see it. And so you would turn the converter, fill it up this way. Not sure if it's less of a hassle or not, but maybe it's supposed to be. I don't know. So it's almost like a piston. It seems that way. Anyways, lovely pen. Love this pen. Great pen to have as part of your collection if you are a pen collector. So, Italy, and I do have some. I have not yet written with the Hongdian or drawn with the Hongdian, and I've definitely not even inked this one up. So we're going to ink this one up today, do a little sketch with it, and we'll finish off today with the Magna Carta Sapphire. What was this one called again? Sapphire something or other. Oh, we'll find it here. The Sapphire Grand. That's what it's called. So we're going to do a little sketching with that one. If you have any comments, information that you know about these pens that I covered that maybe I got wrong or didn't cover, please do leave comments below. I do respond, and obviously other people may get involved and want to have some comments on that too. So anyways, we're going to get to the drawing, so let's get inked up. We're in India, and that's where we're going to draw from, quote unquote, today. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, so let's get a fill of Noodler's Borealis Black. Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, I just wanted to mention on this pen, when I did get this pen from Chalet, this is my second Halloween pen that I got. The other one I have is a Bennu Skull and Roses. It's a pretty cool pen. I wanted to do an actual video on that for Inktober this year, but I did not get around to doing that. So I'll probably do that in the coming months. But when I did get this pen from Magna Carta, my only other Indian brand that I have is Ranga. And with this one, on the reverse side of the nib, I actually had to do a little smoothing right here when I'm drawing with it. Because I flipped it over to get a finer line, I had to do a little bit of smoothing on it. It wasn't too terrible, it's just a little scratchy. I've gotten some, it doesn't matter what country of manufacturer, or manufacturer even. I mean, you could have a very expensive Monte Grappa or Mont Blanc or Pilot. It doesn't matter. You have some nibs are going to be scratchy, some to your preference even. Whether it's not even objectively scratchy, it could just be scratchy to you in certain, the way you hold the pen. So I've noticed over time I've had to do some adjustments. I can grind a nib, but for novices, if you do get a pen or you're new to the fountain pen usage, maybe something you consider. If it's scratchy, it can be adjusted. You can smooth it out a little bit. If you have questions on how to do that or advice, I can certainly offer some. But yeah, this pen worked really well. It had great ink flow. I think I switched here to ballpoint to add a little bit of variety. But and weirdly enough, the white balance changed here. I don't know what happened. I was too lazy probably to fix it. The first part, it's a little too yellow, but yeah, this is a fun little doodle to do. I don't know why I decided to do 3 pens at once. Turned into some very long video. I did not intend that. I've got a few more reviews coming up, dedicated but to 1 pen, maybe 2, but they're going to be a lot shorter than this, with some drawing at the end as well. I'm going to try to be doing about 1 to 2 videos a week moving forward. I don't want to add on. I stay pretty heavy on Instagram, but want to move more back into YouTube the way I used to be years and years and years ago. So anyway, we're going to get back to it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the pen. I've got some really cool pens coming up. Another exclusive pen to Gold Spot coming up here soon. And then I also picked up another really cool Kaweco. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. All right.